Hey guys. So apparently, I mean, we knew that this was going to happen because they've been talking about it, but this is the Harry Potter Max original series for HBO Max. 40 seconds long. I don't know what's in it, but well, that explains everything. I mean, I know that they've just started production and all that. Um and no matter how old I get, that song, is always going to be nostalgic. Um so I don't know how to feel about this. I think the movies were amazing as they were, and making a series, it's kind of like Lord of the Rings. It's like it doesn't need a long-winded series. Um, so if they retell the story but add things and stay closer to the books, because anyone who read Harry Potter and saw the movies know that the books were drastically different than what we saw in the movies. There were characters that were never even mentioned in the movies. There were scenarios that happened that never even happened, and so if they were to stick closer to the books, which would be more possible, considering we're not talking about 3 hour movies, we're talking about an entire series. I'm pretty sure fans wouldn't have a problem if they stuck closer to the books. Um, so I'm assuming it's gonna be obviously the origin, like what we see in Sorcerer's Stone, except instead of having, I mean, well, then again, every we could have maybe 8 seasons or 7 seasons, and each season is like a different part of the story. Like the first season would be like Philosopher's Stone, stuff like that, and being able to, each episode I assume would probably be about 40 minutes or so long, so a lot longer than the movie in total by the end of the season. Uh, I mean, if they're doing it that way based on the books, so if they were to do that, that's really good because then again, you could fit more in. Um, a lot of people obviously, oh no, J.K. Rowling, she's a bad person. Just shut up. Um, so this is a one time I might say, but then again, we've seen what happened with Rings of Power. They took the second age, which hasn't been shown on screen yet. They took the second age and they just like ruin it. So, um, but apparently J.K. Rowling is going to be working on this as well. So I'm pretty sure she's not going to let her baby get messed up. I mean, it's hers. She's the one who created this universe. Um, and kind of like with Scott Cawthon and Five Nights at Freddy's and the movie that's going to be coming out soon enough. Scott is like, I created this, and if they do make it for, you know, a series or movies, I want to make sure they're not ruining it. Um, Not saying the movies were ruining it, but like I said, it's just drastically different than what we had in the books. Um, but again, if they take each book and make a season out of it, I think that would be fairly well good idea. So it'd be 8 seasons, and each season, I don't know. Let's see. seasons are usually what, maybe 10, 13 episodes. Each episode is almost an hour long. Um, so you'd have a lot more time to draw things out and tell a story rather than a movie where, you have all these events that kind of have to happen in like quick succession because you've got only a certain amount of time for a movie. You don't want to be watching a Harry Potter movie and be sitting there for 4 or 5 hours. No, they're usually like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, which even that most people are like, no, that's too much. So season one should be like Philosopher's Stone. Season two, except I think to start it, in Philosopher's Stone, we see the whole thing with Dumbledore in the very beginning, and McGonagall. They're going to drop Harry off at the Dursleys and all that. But I think maybe it would be better if they started off with Voldemort going in and killing Lily and James. I mean, we do kind of see that in the movie when he talks about his parents and all that. But if it started off like the origin story of Harry Potter, his parents being murdered by Voldemort, Dumbledore taking him to live at the Dursleys, that'd be great. And then we just kind of go from there. Have a little bit of time with the Dursleys, which even in the movies they didn't focus too much on because it's Harry Potter, and the whole point is to go to Hogwarts. It's not Harry Potter and let's sit at the Dursleys all movie, you know, uh, because there's nothing that's gonna happen there. The Dursleys are terrible people. You don't want to see an entire movie of them. The whole point is Harry going to school, learning magic. Imagine if it was a 2-hour movie where he was just at the Dursleys the entire time. He doesn't leave. That would be insane. So, we start with the origin, Harry being born, James and Lily being killed by Voldemort, him being taken in by the Dursleys. Well, more like Dumbledore like forcing it on them. He's just like, here, let's just leave the baby right here. And then, kind of picking up what we kind of see in the movies, see him living under the stairs and stuff like that, getting to see how terrible his aunt and uncle are, how terrible his cousin is, and throughout the first episode, like the first little bit of the first episode, like a 10-15 minutes should be just that. And then I mean, of course, that's the owls come in with the letters, and then they leave because they get away from it, and Hagrid comes in and sorry about that when he busts down the door and you're a wizard, Harry, that famous thing. But yeah, either the first half of the episode or the first episode should be the leading up to Hogwarts, and then the second. But the cast, you know, you have like Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson. They basically they're separating themselves from Harry Potter, not because of the characters themselves, and not I don't. I mean I get I don't want to be known as Harry Potter, but most of the because they're just I don't agree with J.K. Rowling, and she's a bad person, and I want to separate myself, despite the fact that she's the one who started my career. Um, I think Rupert Grint, the one who Ron, he's really the only one of the younger cast. Also, uh, what's her name? One of the chick plays Luna. Also, one of those people who were kind of brainwashed, and then she just kind of woke up and realized, hey, I was wrong, and that people are, you know, God, I can't remember her name off the top of my head right now, but I know Robbie Coltrane, Hagrid, would defend J.K. Rowling. Ray Fiennes, who played Voldemort, defends her. It's only these little freaking kids, these younger actors who are like, well, what she said is wrong, and I want nothing to do with the Harry Potter franchise anymore. She's just a terrible person, and she's literally causing death. She's no better than her Death Eaters that she created. So, but it'll be interesting to see who they get to play the main cast, because now whoever stars in the show, these kids now will be forever known as Harry Potter and Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger. And I mean, I don't think anything would be able to top, say, Alan Rickman as Snape, but or I mean, the first two movies were Richard Harris as Dumbledore. He got up to Chamber of Secrets, but even in Chamber of Secrets, you can tell he was getting sicker compared to first movie. He just got sick, and I think he died not too long after that. And that's where Michael Gambon came in. But I don't think anyone will be able to be a better Snape than Alan Rickman. That man was just like the franchise and the universe it takes place in. That man was magic. Like, seriously, Alan Rickman. So it's going to be interesting to see who they cast and, you know, how the story will be told. Because again, there's 7 books. So the movies split it up into 8 movies. You had Deathly Hallows Part 1, and then you had Deathly Hallows Part 2. So it was 7 books, 8 movies. So again, I think the one book a season. So the first season, Philosopher's Stone. Second season, Chamber of Secrets. Third, Prisoner of Azkaban, and so on. But if they keep the castle kind of iconic, like the way it looks, because it looks very much like in the movies. I think this is just pretty much from the movies or whatever. You don't want to change the castle too much, because the castle itself, it's like a character. It's iconic. So you don't want to change too much about the castle. Maybe if this is successful, maybe do like a founding of Hogwarts kind of thing, because we would love to see a live action thing with the founders, Godric Gryffindor, Salazar Slytherin, all that, the founding of Hogwarts, like what led them to create the school, each of their specialties, the bickering that went amongst them, what made Salazar leave, and the creation of the Chamber of Secrets by him. I would love to see something like that. It's 1,000 years in the past. The school and the world was so much more different back then, and I would love to see. It's kind of like I said, a Lord of the Rings type thing. They have a chance to tell the story that we really haven't seen much of. We've heard little bits of it, but we haven't really actually seen it. So having the 4 founders and the creation of, say, like I said, the Chamber of Secrets and the founding of Hogwarts, and that, I think that would be really cool if this does well. But that's to be seen. They just started production apparently, so it's going to be a while before this comes out. I'm sure it'll be like a couple years, depending on how fast, because with technology, just, editing and putting everything together has become a lot easier. So who knows? It might be a year and a half, 2 years. I don't know. But Harry Potter TV, HBO Max original series. Just stick true to the books. That's all I'm saying. Or stick true to source material. Don't swap anything for any reason. Don't add things really that aren't there, because you already have tons of material to work with. Just stick to the source material. That's all the fans ask. Just respect the source material. We saw what happened with Lord of the Rings, and yet they still saw fit to make a season 2. But anyway, Harry Potter. Harry Potter. Um, what do you guys think? Do you think it's going to do well? Is it something that's going to be as memorable as the movies, as timeless as the movies, or you think it's going to flop? Um, what do you hope to see in here? Do you hope that each season is like one of the books? So 7 seasons. And what's one of your favorite moments, characters, whatever from the books that didn't make it into the movies that you hope to see here? Let me know below. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.